Welcome back, Focus Learners, to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a beautiful short film script called Gulgule or Muskan, which translates to Sweet Treats and Smiles. It takes this really simple, everyday setting and hides a surprisingly profound life lesson right in plain sight. Let's deconstruct exactly why this narrative works so well and, figure out how we can apply its secrets to our very own storytelling. Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever poured your absolute heart and soul into a project, maybe studied for weeks for a test, or practiced endlessly for a big presentation, only to completely fail? Oof, it's a universally crushing feeling, isn't it? Well, that heavy sinking sensation of defeat is exactly where our story begins. And honestly, it serves as the absolute perfect emotional hook to immediately capture your empathy. We've all been there, and tapping into that shared experience, that is incredibly powerful. Section 1. The Crush of Defeat, the Emotional Hook. So our story opens in the vibrant, totally chaotic energy of a North Delhi market street. Just picture it. Autos honking everywhere, people bargaining, the blazing sun beating down. And right in the middle of this loud, bustling scene, we meet our protagonist, 9-year-old Arav. The contrast here is just immediate. Surrounded by all this vibrant life, Arav is dragging his feet in this isolated, quiet disappointment. He's holding a rolled-up drawing sheet, looking just utterly downcast after losing a local drawing competition. Walking right beside him is his gentle 65-year-old grandfather, Dadu, holding his hand. Then, Arav turns to his grandfather and delivers this absolutely heartbreaking line. He says, "I worked so hard on that drawing, but I still lost. I'm never taking part in a competition again. Working hard has no point." Wow, it's raw, it's relatable, and it brilliantly sets up a massive emotional obstacle that our young protagonist desperately needs to overcome. Section 2. The Street Food Mentor, an Unlikely Guide. Now, instead of just lecturing the boy, wise old Dadu simply stops, smiles, and asks Arav to just smell the air. Suddenly, the rich, sweet aroma of cardamom and fried batter takes over. They walk up to this humble wooden street cart. And this beautifully illustrates the core visual and narrative contrast of the whole story. Because on one hand, you have Arav's state, right? He's downcast and entirely defeated by a school contest. But on the other hand, you have Mishraji, the street food vendor. This guy is standing right next to the intense, radiating heat of a massive boiling iron wok. He's completely drenched in sweat, yet he's laughing heartily with his customers. As they start chatting, Mishraji shares the harsh physical reality of running his humble cart. I mean, he wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day, he faces unpredictable rain, and he literally stands in the dizzying, blistering Delhi sun. Yet he tells the boy, "If I think to myself, it's too hot today, the work won't get done, then how will I ever create this flavor?" He absolutely refuses to let that harsh environment stop him from creating his delicious golden treats. Moving on to Section 3. The Hot Oil Metaphor, Philosophical Core. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the literal process of making a gulgula, which is a traditional sweet fried dumpling, acts as a total masterclass in overcoming adversity. Just look at the steps. Step 1. The raw batter has to plunge right into the boiling hot oil, which represents our hardships. Step 2. It has to somehow overcome the fear of that intense heat. And finally, Step 3. Only by enduring that heat does it emerge sweet, golden, and perfectly fluffy. It's just a beautiful, tangible representation of character building. Mishraji really drives this point home as he drops a fresh ladle of batter into the sizzling oil. He looks right at young Arav and says, "If this batter gets scared of the oil's heat, the flavor is completely destroyed." This right here, this is the emotional anchor of the entire story. It completely reframes Arav's failure. That drawing competition wasn't a punishment, it was just the hot oil. And if Arav lets the fear of failure stop him from trying again, well, he's going to lose his unique flavor, his unique potential. Section 4. Finding the True Prize, Narrative Resolution. So Arav asks Mishraji how he manages not to get angry while standing in such brutal heat all day long. Mishraji just smiles, wipes the sweat from his brow, and explains his real motivation. His ultimate goal isn't just selling goods, it's seeing the smile on a customer's face when they eat his food. Bringing that sweetness to people's lives is what makes all his exhaustion literally disappear. Dadu then kneels down and summarizes the lesson with so much warmth. He says that winning and losing, that will always happen. But the real life skill is learning to smile through the blazing sun, exactly like Mishraji. Then, Arav takes a bite of the warm, delicious sweet from his little leaf plate.
He looks at his rolled-up drawing, grips it tightly, and you can see the sadness entirely vanish from his face. He turns to his grandfather with this incredible newfound determination and says, "Tomorrow I will start practicing again. And this time I will work hard not to win, but to make my drawing as sweet as Mishiji's Gugule." That is just perfect character growth. He's totally internalized the lesson and shifted his motivation from seeking external validation to cultivating internal joy.
Section 5. Anatomy of a Viral Story. Structural Mechanics.
So, the crucial point we need to understand is exactly why the script is so incredibly effective. It really comes down to 3 foundational pillars. First off, we have the relatable hook. It tackles emotional resilience, sure, but it does so through the highly accessible, universal lens of a child's disappointment. Then there's the visual storytelling. The writer didn't just have characters sitting in a boring room giving advice. They used the highly cinematic contrast of boiling hot oil against a vendor's sweet, unbothered smile. And finally, the cultural connection. By anchoring the whole metaphor in a bustling local market with a specific, authentic food like gulgule, the story feels incredibly grounded, real, and totally immersive.
Ultimately, this story leaves us with an incredibly powerful framework for handling our own setbacks. Whether you're a creator facing a total flop, a student failing a test, or a professional dealing with rejection, the heat is inevitable. The only real question is, how are you going to respond? Are you going to let the heat destroy your flavor,